Hey guys, Cody with Princess Craft. We get asked all the time, how do I operate my Truma appliances on my MDC trailer? Well, let's go over those real quick. MDC is using the Truma appliances. One of them is gonna be the Truma Aqua Go water heater. A couple of things to get this thing going. This dust plug's gotta get removed, okay? We need to make sure our exterior power switch is in the on position out here. This cap can store right there. And then that will go back in there. Okay. The other thing that we're trying to control from Truma is going to be our furnace. Okay. So this is going to be our intake and our exhaust for our furnace assembly. And the last thing that they're using on the MDC from Truma is going to be the Aventa air conditioner. So let's hop inside. Let me show you how to get everything powered up and turned on so you can use it correctly. All right, so coming into the MDC, there's a couple of ways to power everything, right? So if you are plugged in a campground to shore power, we don't need to mess with our Renogy inverter because everything's gonna pass through it. But if you're off-grid camping, kind of like the off-grid extreme MDCs are built for, with our solar and lithium, we are gonna be running off of the Renogy inverter. So we do have a little button right here. We wanna make sure that button is pushed in. As soon as the inverter engages, you'll see that the green light on here starts to flash. And that tells us that our inverter is operating and it is ready to go. You may even hear the inverter click, and that means that power is now transferred and we are ready. We are running off the batteries, and now we are ready to start getting our Truma products fired up. So let's check that out. All right, so inside the MDC, you're gonna have a cabinet panel that you're gonna open up. We're inside the 19, and it's back here above the refrigerator. We have a lot of switches and controls. Now, depending on which model you have, this panel may be located in a different place. First and foremost, we're gonna wanna make sure our disconnect switch here is turned to the on position. One thing I like to fire up first is gonna be our Renogy screen, which is gonna be our monitoring panel here for our inverter and our batteries and our solar, so we can see what's going on. From there, in the MDCs, the switch that says furnace controls our Truma CP Plus control panel. It provides the power to it. So before I turn that on, if I'm gonna be using my water heater, I like to go ahead and turn that on first and then turn my furnace on. And the reason being is I want power provided, making sure all my power is provided where I want it before I fire up the CP Plus screen. So power is everywhere, so when it initializes, it recognizes all the different appliances. If you don't do that, it may not recognize that you have a water heater, and then it won't work. So turn your water heater switch on first, and then your furnace switch, and then everything should show up and be functionable from your CP Plus screen. Now to operate, what we're gonna do is we're gonna take our rotary knob and we're gonna push it. And you're gonna see a caravan pop up, and you're gonna see a thermostat looking like it's, or a thermometer dipped in water, and then a fan. This little cord end plug symbol right here means that we are detecting 120 volt to our systems. Basically, the air conditioner is what's gonna be 120 volt in here. So again, we're gonna push that button, we're gonna select our caravan, and what's gonna pop up will be the heater, or you roll the knob, or AC. So if you want heat, you're gonna have heater highlighted, you're gonna push again, it's gonna bring up off, and then you're gonna select your temperature. Once you find the temperature you want, you're gonna push the button again, and now we are gonna go ahead and start burning propane to heat our space to what we want. If you want to go to air conditioner, it's gonna be the opposite. To turn your furnace off, you're gonna go back into the caravan, run your temperature all the way down to off, push it again, and we're back to the main screen and everything is off. To do the air conditioner, we're gonna push again, roll over to AC. Here we're gonna have a few options. We've got off, vent, cool, or auto. Vent is just air from the outside to the inside, just helps circulate air. Cool is just cool mode. And in auto mode, so what this will do is it'll automatically switch between your heater and your air conditioner based on temperature sets. Me personally, I like to decide what I'm operating. I like to go to cool mode. Once you select cool, you're gonna push the button again, and then again, we're gonna roll the dial to choose our desired interior temperature, and we're gonna push the button again. Now, when you default back to the home screen, you should see your snowflake in the top left corner. That's going to tell you that you are set to cool mode. Now, it's going to take a minute for everything to kind of fire up, but eventually you should hear your Truma Aventa air conditioner come on. You may have a fan start first, or you may have a compressor start first and then a fan. It'll just be dependent upon what the Aventa decides to do, okay? Now, if you want to change your fan speed, you're going to go back to your home screen. You're going to roll the dial over here to the fan blade. We're going to push the button, and you've got low, medium, and high. And you just push again, and now you'll see our fan up here has 4 dark blades. That means we are now in high fan speed. To roll that back down, it's just the opposite. Go back into it, roll it down to low, and it's going to drop our fan speed back down. So the last device that we have to control is going to be our water heater. So that's going to be the wavy lines with what looks like the thermometer dipped in it. We're going to click on that, and here you're going to have off, eco, comfort, and antifreeze mode. So let's go over the modes real quick. Eco mode is going to be your lowest power consumption mode, and it's going to probably take a little longer to get there. Your comfort mode, what that does is it actually recirculates water through the system to help keep everything warm and ready to go. And then you've got your antifreeze mode. So in antifreeze mode, that's going to allow you to install the antifreeze drain plug into the Truma water heater and keep that system from freezing during cold temperature operation. So you would want it in antifreeze mode. But as far as operation goes, you're going to do the same thing. Select the mode you want, push the button, select your desired output water temperature up to a maximum of 120 degrees. You're going to push the button again, and from there it's going to take over and do everything it needs to do. If you get failure codes, it could be because you've got air in the system and you need to bleed the air out. So you'll go in, you'll cycle the water heater off, give it a second, and then cycle it back on until that code goes away to get the air out of the system. And that really boils down the controls of the Truma appliances, how to use them from the CP Plus, how to use them when you're off grid through the inverter, and get everything fired up and ready to go. All right, guys, that pretty much covers the operation of the Truma CP Plus. So if you've got any further questions, reach out to us, drop us a text, email, give us a ring in Round Rock, Texas, or Katy, Texas. Thanks.